What's going on, family and friends? Welcome back to My Thoughts Uncut. I thank you for watching. I am your host, Terrence Manning. We're going to talk about Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene. We're going to show you what Trump says, we're going to show you what she says, and Trump calls her a traitor, and you're going to see why. Let's take a look.
Greene, the Congresswoman, was on CBS News. She was talking about how the files should be released. We anticipate that it will happen in the House. I know you've about the investigations.
I don't care about it, released or not. What I think you should do, if you're going to do it, then you have to go into Epstein's friends. This Reid Hoffman spent a lot of time on the island. I was never on his island. Bill Clinton went there supposedly 28 times.
He threw Bill under the bus.
You have to look into his friends, because, if they're going to do that. And I think the perfect guy to do it would be Southern District, somebody like Jay Clayton. I understand that's who's been assigned.
But does the Congresswoman have a point, though?
Does Marjorie Taylor Greene have a point?
Does she have a point?
I know nothing about her.
On the release of files. All the
Well,
files.
they can have whatever they want. They already do. I think they have 50,000 pages already. Look, this is a Democrat hoax. This is a hoax put out by the Democrat, and a couple of few Republicans have gone along with it because they're weak and ineffective. But this is a Democrat hoax.
I agree, this is a Democrat hoax, and she should be talking to Trump privately. Now, she can criticize her own congressmen and women, but she should not be criticizing Trump in the public eye.
Get away from the fact that they just lost the shutdown and they've lost the elections. They've lost the big election, to me, in a record number. They lost the popular vote. They lost the swing states. They lost everything. I think it was 312 to 220 something. So this is a way of not talking about that. It's a hoax. This is no different than Russia.
Facts. Now let's see what Marjorie Taylor Greene has to say.
The political breakup heard round the world. President Trump severing ties with at least one of his closest allies, declaring, "I am withdrawing my support and endorsement of Congresswoman."
Yeah, he wasn't messing around over the weekend. He was his true social. He was, oh man, he was getting at her because in his eyes, it's like, okay, if you support me, if you're loyal to me, why are you going out to all these news stations and going on The View and saying stuff about me? If you want to talk about the Republican Party, your congressmen and women, cool. But don't talk about me. You're supposed to be loyal to me.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, even calling for primary challenges against his one-time loyalists and attacking her as, quote, wacky, a ranting lunatic, a rhino, and a traitor. This is days before the House of Representatives is set to vote on releasing the Epstein files. It's a stunning breach between two MAGA leaders, one of whom is here with me now exclusively for her first interview since the president cut ties. Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia, thank you so much for being here. As you just heard, and I know you saw, the president says he's withdrawing support for you, encouraging primary challengers. You were one of his biggest supporters. What do you think happened here?
Well, Dana, thank you for having me on. And that is true. I stood with President Trump when virtually no one else did. Campaigned all over the country, spent millions of my own dollars helping him get elected. And I think that's incredibly important. And I do support him and his administration.
And see, that's how she gained his loyalty. And to keep that loyalty, he's expecting you to not criticize him in the public eye, which is understandable. No guy wants I know they're not together, but from a man's perspective, no man wants their female associate to criticize them in the public eye. That's the last thing we want. If you have a problem with me or what's going on in my administration that basically involves me, come talk to me in private. If we don't agree, we don't agree. But don't go out in public and say certain things that make it seem like I'm not fulfilling the promises that I campaigned on. And that's what Trump is referring to. And she made a huge mistake. And I'll show you what she did later on.
I support them in delivering the campaign promises we made to the American people. His remarks, of course, have been hurtful. However, I have something in my heart that I think is incredibly important for our country, and that is to end the toxic fighting in politics. And this has been going on for years, and it has divided our country, split up friends and families, neighbors, and it's not solving our problems. The most hurtful thing he said, which is absolutely untrue, is he called me a traitor. And that is so extremely wrong. And those are the types of words used that can radicalize people against me and put my life in danger.
What do you think happened? What do you think is?
Now, I think she's a little over exaggerating about her life of being in danger. Is she gonna get ridiculed by conservative party, by the MAGA party? Yes, but like I said, she did something to deserve it. Not only that, you can't keep going on these news media and talking negatively about Trump. She went on The View, and I did a video about it. Now, what she said on The View, I didn't hear her say, and from what I seen, she didn't say anything about Trump negatively. But she did go on CNN and other platforms, and she started talking about Trump negatively. And then she did a big no-no.
Is the reason for this?
Unfortunately, it has all come down to the Epstein files, and that is shocking. And, you know, I stand with these women. I stand with rape victims. I stand with children who are in terrible sex abuse situations. And I stand with survivors of trafficking and those that are trapped in sex trafficking. And I will not apologize for that. I believe the country deserves transparency in these files. And I don't believe that rich, powerful people should be protected if they have done anything wrong. And so I'm standing with the women, and I will continue to do my small part to get the files released.
You said on X.
Now, granted, I agree with her, but she also has to understand the Democratic Party is using her in regards to this, because they are trying to do anything to damage Trump's image and his success during this presidency. So while she's fighting the good fight for good reasons, genuine reasons, the Democratic Party could care less about these victims. They think in their minds that somehow maybe Trump will be in there. Well, they know Trump is not in there in a negative way. What they're trying to do is they're trying to use propaganda and use certain things that's in the files to make Trump look bad, when if something was in those files, it would have been brought to light already. Let's take a look at what she's saying more.
Yesterday, quote, "It's astonishing really how hard he's fighting to stop the Epstein files from coming out, and that it really makes you wonder what is in those files." Are you suggesting there's something in the Epstein files that President Trump does not want Americans to see?
Well, I think that's the part that has so many people confused, is that the women themselves that I have talked to have over and over again said that Donald Trump did nothing wrong. Quite a few of them even told me they voted for him. And those are the women I would like to see in the Oval Office with support. I would like to see all of the women there.
But see, she's just a pawn, and I don't know if she's not getting enough attention from Trump or what's going on, but this is something that she did that was, you would lose any guy's trust if you do this. She posted right here the text messages between her and Trump. And everyone knows Trump uses his own phone, or he'll use his assistant's phones to speak to congressmen and women, including her. And this is what she posted on her social media page. A conversation between her and Trump, a private conversation. And I guarantee you, he did not approve of this. She didn't ask him if she can post this. Now, if it was something extremely positive, I'm pretty sure Trump would have been like, oh yeah, go ahead and post it. Or he would have said it himself in Truth Social. But for her to even talk about this and bring it to light, that's when Trump is like, okay, now you're a traitor. Like, I can't trust you. This is why he's probably stopped taking phone calls and stopped responding to her. Because if you're going to do something like this, and speaking from Trump, I'm the president of the United States, and you're going to post our personal chat, our personal dialogue, we're done. We're done. Now let's see what Scott Jennings have to say about this.
Started with that political engagement. When they sent her that poll, that's when you start to see everything change. She opposed the president on his Middle East policy, attacking the Houthi rebels, attacking Iran. She's opposed the president on deportations this summer. So she has sort of become a policy opponent of the president, but I think it really all started with that political engagement. And now, she's one of his most frequent critics on some of what I would argue has been his biggest successes this year. And if you want to count yourself as an ally of the president of the United States, it's not great to go out and run out to The View and other places and crap on him 24 hours a day. I mean, that's essentially what she's become. It's a
Yeah, and that's the thing. The issue is you can disagree with people. You're not going to agree with everything someone says, not even your own spouse, not even your own parents or siblings, but keep it in-house. You don't tell everybody that you disagree with this and that and this and that. Keep it in-house. Talk to the president. Follow his agenda. And behind the scenes, try what you can to get some of these things moving to the right direction. She could have handled this Epstein thing totally different. She didn't have to go on these platforms and basically kind of put it in Trump's lap to force them to look into these Epstein files again. Granted, the Democratic Party had these files for years during Biden's administration. So if they were going to release it, they would have already, because they had the House and Senate at one time too, under Biden. But they never released it. Why? Because they're hiding something. They don't really care about the victims. And that's what she needs to realize. She needs to apologize to Trump. He may not read her message. I'm pretty sure he didn't block her because he's a businessman. He's not going to block her. But she needs to work through the channels and get back in his graces and try to do everything in her power to redeem herself, because it's going to be tough for him to ever trust her again when she showed those text messages. And that's a big no-no for anybody, especially us men. We do. The one thing about us is we want our women to be loyal, whether we are friends with them or we are in a relationship with them. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you next time. Peace.